On May 14, 1948, a momentous event unfolded that reverberated through history and echoed the ancient promises of God. On that day, the nation of Israel was reborn. After centuries of dispersion and persecution, the Jewish people once again had a homeland. This was not merely a political event, it was a divine orchestration, a testament to the faithfulness of God to his chosen people. The world watched in awe as a nation thought to be lost forever rose again from the ashes. This event was no accident. It was the fulfillment of biblical prophecy, a signpost pointing towards the return of Jesus Christ. The Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, speaks of Israel's destiny. The rebirth of Israel in 1948 stands as a powerful confirmation of the Bible's accuracy and authority. It reminds us that God is in control of history, and his plans will always come to pass. This miracle birth, defying all odds, ignited a beacon of hope for believers worldwide. It signaled that God's prophetic timeline was unfolding as foretold, drawing us closer to the glorious climax of history. The stage was set for the final act in God's redemptive plan, and Israel, once again a nation, held a central role. The world had changed. God's prophetic clock was ticking. Centuries before the birth of Christ, the prophets of Israel spoke of a time when the Jewish people would return to their land. Scattered among the nations, they would face persecution and hardship. Yet, God promised he would never forget his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He would bring them back to the land he had promised them. The prophet Ezekiel, in a vision of dry bones coming back to life, vividly portrayed Israel's national resurrection. I will put my spirit in you, and you will live, and I will settle you in your own land, God declared in Ezekiel 37:14. This prophecy spoke not just of a physical return, but also of a spiritual revival. Jeremiah, known as the weeping prophet, also foresaw a time of restoration. He wrote, "For I will restore their fortunes and have compassion on them, declares the Lord." Jeremiah 33:26. These words, filled with hope and promise, sustained the Jewish people through centuries of exile. These prophecies, woven throughout the Old Testament, were not mere wishful thinking. They were pronouncements from the Almighty God, and not one word would return void. The rebirth of Israel in 1948 stands as a powerful testament to the faithfulness of God and the reliability of his word. The rebirth of Israel in 1948 was not just a political event. It was a supernatural occurrence, a resounding echo of Ezekiel's vision. Just as the prophet saw dry bones come together, flesh and sinew covering them, so too did the scattered remnants of Israel coalesce into a nation. This desolate land, once barren and neglected, bloomed again under the care of its returning people. Ezekiel 36:35 says, "They will say, 'This land that was laid waste has become like the Garden of Eden.'" This prophecy, once a distant hope, became a tangible reality. The Jewish people, with remarkable resilience, rebuilt their nation from the ground up, transforming deserts into fertile fields and establishing thriving cities. This physical restoration mirrors the spiritual renewal promised by God. Ezekiel 37:26 states, "I will make a covenant of peace with them. It will be an everlasting covenant." This restoration was not just about land and nationhood. It was about a restored relationship with God. The rebirth of Israel in 1948 was a powerful testimony to the world, a testament to the faithfulness of God and the enduring power of his promises. It was a stark reminder that God is not bound by time or human limitations. He is the God of resurrection, and he can bring life to even the most hopeless situations. Jesus himself, in the Olivet Discourse, pointed to the rebirth of Israel as a significant sign of the end times. Speaking of the signs that would precede his return, he said, "Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer's near." Matthew 24:32. Just as the budding of a fig tree signals the coming of summer, so too does the rebirth of Israel signal the nearness of Christ's return. For centuries, the fig tree of Israel lay dormant, its people scattered, its land desolate. But in 1948, new life burst forth, fulfilling Jesus' own words. This was not a coincidence. It was a divinely appointed sign, a clear indication that we are living in the last days. The rebirth of Israel serves as a stark reminder to the world. Time is short. The King is coming. This prophetic event should awaken us from our spiritual slumber and ignite a sense of urgency in our hearts. We must be about our Father's business, sharing the gospel and making disciples of all nations. The fig tree has blossomed. The signs are evident. The end is near. Are you ready?